What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Command and Console. My name is Jason. Today I picked up some new Xbox titles. Bought these a couple of weeks ago. I've been adding to the Xbox collection for a little while now. Just haven't really kind of, documented it in a video. But these recent pickups, I would like to argue, are some of the most underrated original Xbox games ever released. So without further ado, let's get to those pickups. The first game is a pirate adventure title called Galleon. This game it's a weird one. This game, the control scheme is very unconventional, is the way I would put it. Playing this back in the day and giving it a go recently, you've got a bit of a learning curve with the controls, but once you get the controls down and you understand how to climb and how to, progress through the different locations and navigate the locations, this is such a fun and engaging adventure title. It's almost got like this weird DNA of old point and click games where it doesn't hold your hand. You've got to figure out things yourself. You've got to figure out where to go and how to get there. The puzzles are pretty interesting to solve, and the combat in itself is also a puzzle in terms of how you fight in the game's combat. This is a very underrated, very unspoken adventure game that I really think people could get a kick out of if you enjoy those old style point and clicks. But this is not a point and click, this is actually just a third person pirate adventure title. But when I say point and click, I do mean it gives me that vibe of those games where you've really got to figure out what to do next and where to go. This game is awesome. I love it. No one talks about it. Go and check it out if you've got the original Xbox or if you've got emulator. Try and give this a go because it's awesome. That's Galleon. The next game picked up, I think this is like one of the most underrated RPG titles for the original Xbox, and it's called Sudeki. I probably pronounced it incorrect, but I wouldn't know how else to say it. But yeah, this game is a really fun high fantasy RPG. I really like it a lot. It's got a cool combat system. The world's fun to explore. And yeah, I just think it just doesn't go spoken of, really. It's really good. I highly recommend this one. It's got hours of content in there, and it's just a fun RPG all round. I think it doesn't get spoken about when people talk about really good RPGs. This is one of them, in my opinion. It feels almost like similar to Dragon Age and Jade Empire, those kind of style RPGs. It's maybe not up to that caliber. I still think this is a really fun game that I think you guys can really enjoy. It's really cheap on the original Xbox as well, so pick it up. And also, if you've got a PC, you can get this on Good Old Games for really cheap as well. Really recommend this one. That's Sudeki. It's a great RPG on the original Xbox. The next game is a kind of semi-open world action game. It's a film tie-in, and it is Evil Dead: Fist for the Boomstick. This game is a love letter to the Evil Dead franchise, in my opinion. Out of all the games, I think this is probably still the best one that I've played, and it's just so much fun. Bruce Campbell reprises his role as Ash in this as well, so it just works. And he really goes full on with the character. He understands who Ash is, he understands the character, and it just feels like an authentic Evil Dead experience. It's got kind of almost cartoony graphics, but that allows it to be absurdly gory and violent, and the combat is really fun, especially when you start getting into the later game and you start unlocking guns like the shotgun and the Gatling gun that you can attach onto his right arm. It's ridiculous, the Gatling gun in this game, but the overall vibe is very Evil Dead. It's very tongue-in-cheek, and I think that it's super fun. I highly recommend this one if you've not played it before. Yeah, a super underrated title on the original Xbox. I'm glad to add it to the collection. That's Evil Dead: Fist for the Boomstick. The next title is a action RPG that I think, again, no one really talks about this one, and it's called Enclave. This game is very cool. If you like dark fantasy, this is a great dark fantasy. It's an action RPG where you can just go around and kill everything. It's really cool, actually. I've not played it in a long time, but I remember it being absolutely awesome when I used to have an Xbox back in the day. Yeah, it describes itself as atmospheric, intense medieval combat, and stuff like that. Yeah, this is really, I remember it just being super fun. Enclave, I do recommend it a lot. If you like that, like I said, dark, gritty, violent fantasy stuff, this is exactly probably right down your street in my opinion. I really like this one from memory. I'm looking forward to jumping back in and giving it a go. Yeah, I think it's super underrated for what it is. Check this one out if you like that dark fantasy tone. And yeah, I think it could be a winner for you guys. That's Enclave. It's a very good, underrated dark fantasy game on the original Xbox. Second to last game on the agenda is a mech action title called Phantom Crash. Now, I adored this game back in the day. You get to like build your own mech and go into these arenas and just fight other mechs. It's really fun, and it kind of plays out like kind of similar to that Gran Turismo style of interface where you've got to go to used mech shops to buy new parts or to buy new mechs, or you can go to brand new mech showrooms and buy brand new mechs for more money, of course, or you can go to a tune-up shop and, you know, upgrade your existing parts on your mech to make them more powerful. This game is very cool like that. You can make some crazy builds in this as well. There's 3 different types of mechs you can build, but then when it comes to their parts for those different types, there's radical different combinations you can make for these mechs. You know, if you want a more tank style kind of stompy mech with massive firepower, you can. But if you want a really fast and nimble mech that runs around the map really quick, you can do that as well. There's so much variety in this game to make just a massive machine of power that can just destroy enemies. Really fun game. I played loads of it back in the day. It still holds up now. I played it fairly recently. It's really fun. The controls may take a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get the hang of just you're running around the arena and just absolutely wrecking other enemies, it's so much fun. Highly recommend this one. It's super underrated on the original Xbox, and I'm super glad to have it in the collection. That's Phantom Crash. This next game might be the best game on the original Xbox, in my opinion. I've never had so much fun, so much intrigue, and so much just joy in playing this game. I think it has had its due now. People do talk about it a bit more now, but as I was into this game back in the day, I heard nobody talk about this game, and it was one of the first games I was like, I need this game in my collection if I'm going to collect for original Xbox. That game is called Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. This is a survival horror detective style game, and it is absolutely stupendous. It's so good. The atmosphere, the storytelling, the progression, everything about it is awesome. And there is some absolutely panic-inducing, terrifying moments in this game that I think hold up to today, will still, you know, lodge themselves in your brain and make you think about them all the time. I love this game. It's so good. Not enough people really talk about it, in my opinion. I think it's respected as a great original Xbox title. Again, I don't think there's enough talk about this one. I think it has great deductive mechanics where you kind of have to solve crime scenes and figure out what's going on. The overall narrative is just as Lovecraftian as you can get. That kind of cosmic horror is drenched in it. It's so good, and it's got a sanity meter similar to Eternal Darkness, but in this game, if your sanity meter gets too far to the negative side of things, your character will kill himself. Like in the game, you have no control over it. So you've got to pick your battles and pick where you should, like, you know, should I be looking at what I'm looking at for too long, because it does affect your sanity. Kind of similar to Amnesia: Dark Descent as well. It's very similar. Those 3 games in particular, this one, Eternal Darkness, and Amnesia: Dark Descent, have that Lovecraftian cosmic horror vibe going. If you like survival horror with a bit more of a detective spin to it, where you're solving kind of crime scenes and finding clues for stuff, this game would be, I think you would actually have a blast with it. There's a similar game to this that came out on the PS4 called The Sinking City, which I also love. So if you really like this game and want something similar, The Sinking City is definitely a game I recommend as well. But when it concerns the original Xbox, this is the most underrated game on the system for me. And I think for me personally, it's the best game on the original Xbox. That is Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. So that's it, guys. Those are the pickups lately for original Xbox. the most underrated games on the system for me. I'm so glad to have all of these in the collection. Obviously, when it comes to concerns underrated Xbox games, there's so many more games I could pick up for the collection as well. But these games are awesome. I highly recommend all 6 of these. They are so good. As always, guys, leave any of your thoughts about these games in the comments down below. And as always, let's continue to build an original Xbox collection.